Welcome back to another edition of Thumping Thursdays with the Chop Up Session and yours truly, King Jacob, and this is the Chatterbox. So, man, we're gonna be getting to this music industry real heavy. And tonight I have none other than Ikon E as one of my co-hosts,
What's going
COG
on?
Entertainment. What's up? What's up? And I
What's going
also
on? What's
have
going on?
my man P and my man Big V. You know what I mean? What's happening, fellas?
What's up? What's up, man?
All love, man.
Man, yes, sir. All love. So we gonna jump right into it, man. So Big V, man, let's talk about your journey in this music industry, man. And before we do that, man, I'm gonna just go around the room and let everybody introduce themselves. And so, I start with you. If you can introduce yourself to the audience.
Basically, my name is Ikon E. Basically, founder, CEO of COG Entertainment, which is a label, and 910 Sports Entertainment, Sports and Entertainment podcast. And I do all different types of stuff: radio, music, promotions, marketing, you name it. You know what I'm saying? I do a little bit of everything. So that's kind of a little bit of my story.
Appreciate it. Mr. P and Big V, could you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience?
Well, shout out to everybody. Vito in the building, man. Running off signed with Nappy Roots, 97. As time progressed, wrote songs all now, pull for good day, shit like that. Seen management go around. Left the group to raise kids on my own. Richard Peak in the group. And that's where I'm at today, man. On my own dispensary and creating some new things and ready to bring back my move or two. So I just had to take my break and sit out and see what I wanted to do.
That's dope. That's dope. Patrick,
All
what's
right,
good, man?
man. Like I said, everything's love, man. On this side of the earth versus under it. So hey, that's a hell of a start for your day. You know.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My name is Patrick Solomon. I'm I guess, the jack of a lot of trades. I manage my man Big V here. We've been working off and on together since about 2012, 13, somewhere in there.
Yes,
But really starting to make a good push and movement right now. In addition to that, I'm part owner with him of this hemp dispensary. And then I'm also, I manage a production group called King of the Beats. And then I've been working with DJ Dirty Laundry, who's a Southern legend DJ too, Dirty Laundry the Game, on his comeback. And then on top of everything else, I'm also a mental health counselor, therapist. So
Oh, now we get into the bulk of it. Now
yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very interesting, man. Very interesting. So I appreciate all you guys introducing yourselves. And so, Big V, man, let's really talk about when did you start and when did you find out that you had a gift that you can share with the world to move people?
man, I had it early. I came from a wino family and a church girl. So it was sort of like Idlewild, the country version of Percival, if so to speak, man. So about 90, no, about 87 in junior high, I had this beatboxing skill that everybody, would gather around and want to hear at Boys Club. And then they kind of followed me. I became more popular at the football level, on the varsity level. And went to school like everybody else the first year, confused. Went to college and messed up a foot and got a kid on me. And come back home, hit the corner with it. You know how that go. Your homeboys go to the college in a small town where you from. So ain't but 4 exit liquor stores and pawn shops. So these boys was at Western, man, going to Hilltop University, man, now doing TV and marketing. They were serious about their rap. And I was like, I know I got the heat. My town believe in me already. And so we just locals and guys who were leaving town. There was a guy named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that played there for Western. And he got one of the CDs or the mixtape everybody was burning for the summer and went home with it and put it on Mike Carron's desk at Atlantic Records. Signed a record deal in '98. Went on tour with Ball G, the chitlin circuit, learn how to do things, learn how to do it in Atlanta. Going to 112 and that thing. Tour with the Attic Crew, Trick Daddy, folk like that, and I really learned how to do it. And then All Now dropped 2001. And then it's a flash of light from there to now, just deal after deal, single after single, ups and down roller coasters.
Okay. So let's rewind it back and talk about Nappy Roots. Let's talk about the height of Nappy Roots and how the group was formed. So if you can explain to the audience who make up the group of Nappy Roots and how was that group formed, you know what I mean, to really get y'all noticed.
We all went to college, with the thought of the next step not being typical from your town. And the group, last member came in the group was Be Still, he the baby of the bunch, and that was in '97, the year before we signed the record deal. And it was just the coldest cats from their school, wherever they were from. Them cats was from Louisville. I'm the only country boy from Covert City, and they were going to college, so I was a local. And we developed. Back then they would give you $300,000 development deal. See what you got. Drain your budget. Let us producers hit you in the jaw. And see what sticks. At that time, when they, like you said, was signing off a rowdy talent, we had moved the unit. We just had a bus, and we owned our own mom and pop store. Back in, that was the thing, watching Master P and owning your shit. But we was into branding at that time. And then the fame took off, and there was 6 cats in the room. And now we're in front of the cameras, and what you did to get here is kind of really showing. And Jay Leno's, we was everywhere, Grammy-nominated, American Music Awards, Jay Leno, Dave Letterman, Soul Train, met Don Courtney, that run. Right when Nelly came in and opened it up for the country. And Atlanta come right down the road from St. Louis and signed the next best thing, which was us. And at that time, we had no A&R, no 50 Cent, nobody, no Dr. Dre, nobody, Big Brother. We just all now poor folks from the country rap tunes off the porch. And it sold $1 million off the gate. Then the trouble started. And then now now your partners, you don't eat rally burgers no more, huh? You drinking bottled waters? I come from a place, ain't no dishwasher. And everybody know your rumors and, they want your girlfriend now and want your kids to get tackled hard. It's just when you're a small town cat that made it, boy, you ain't human no more, man. So
that's true.
So it was just a life-changing thing for me. And then you come out, like record deals don't happen in Kentucky. Ain't nobody had no record deal but us and Static from Player at that time, And now with Static wrote Lollipop for Wayne and Player, big writer for Timberland, Genuine, done all this right. And he's from the city. And so it was just music in Kentucky, just being from a small town. And now everybody's got studios and shit. They ain't speaking to you when they get back now. They ready to shit. If Vito can, we can now. And Nappy Roots dropped in our first album came out platinum. Second album, Napster come out, and we was downloaded 11 million times in a time illegally, where Electra and Atlantic were merging and people were losing their jobs, and they didn't work our second product. That was probably the best album, Wood and Leather. And like I said, it was roller coaster. I went and seen Mean Green in Texas. We had a great relationship. Car shows, he's like, V, this white boy just threw this CD on the desk for you. Got in here. Back then it wasn't no internet. You couldn't check it like you can now. You didn't know what was going on in H-Town. If somebody was going to whoop you, you found out when you pulled up. Wasn't none, wasn't none outlet. But just the evolution of it, man. To really start from there and then being in the group with these 6 guys and they're not from where you from, and you don't even know it's competition yet. You don't you didn't watch Cadillac Records yet.
Sound like down south Wu-Tang. That would sound like to me.
That what it was a mess, man, because they had already got the checks and won. They weren't gonna let both of us do it.
Right.
And so they never they never broke Nappy Roots as different cats in the group. It was just Nappy Roots. And when you writing the music, you tend to get overshadowed. And when you ain't, hell, you gambling with house money.
Right.
So by the time, the third single got there, we had Interscope and Greg Street and Good Day is out. It's 8 years later. It's 208.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just a roller coaster of things. And then to still be going to the mailbox tonight and getting money off of that record that came off in 08. God able when I ain't.
Hey man, hey look, let's and see that's something else we gonna chop it up about a little later on in the show. Making money for a lifetime, and so I'm gonna go ahead and let Ikon E tap in, and because we was talking about you earlier today, and we was talking about what a great guy you had to be to really at the height of your career to stop, but those are your family's jewels. So I'm gonna go ahead and let him tap in with you on it because we were just talking about that today.
What's going on, fellas?
What's
going
up,
on, man?
What's that?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say to Patrick, yeah, I used to do that counseling children in Atlanta, troubled kids and drug addicts, like the adults with the drug addicts. I worked for a counseling center out off of MLK a few years back. So I know exactly what you in that world, you know what I mean? So, or whatever. So I commend you for still doing it, because it's not an easy world to be in or whatever, counseling. It's rewarding at times, but it can be very difficult and challenging.
Yeah, most definitely.
And so, Big V, what I went before I got to the other question about your family life when you were saying the Wu-Tang, because my son, he had started a group like 4 or 5 years ago, and they called themselves had about 9 or 10 members in it. And I told him, I said, and it was kind of like y'all set up where they came from all different kind of walks of life. They pretty much went to school together, but all of them, the story was totally different from the other one. You have drug dealers from bad kids to good kids to whatever. And I told him this ain't gonna work out. I said, not in this era, this time. And then immediately you started hearing members in the group start talking about when I put out my single, when I put out my mixtape, and I'm coming in looking like, okay, y'all already wrong because y'all already on self. Y'all not even about the team, whatever. So what was it that kind of thing going on during the time? Was it early or did that come late in the situation in the group? Like once y'all like launched, did you start hearing that, or was it signs early on that certain members were already selfish early on?
It was like it wasn't really no problem till we got to Jay Leno. Then when the interview and your family not seeing you talk, and why didn't he interview you? Well, that motherfucker don't write nothing, he went to sleep during the session. He ran off with, blah, blah, blah. Now after Waterman Chicken and Grits is out, and that's what you do, So the second album, we, now shit. I put in that word, now it's, it's cutthroat and it ain't no good, it's corrupt.
The writing percentage high.
Yeah, and then we in Atlantic and we out in LA, we all out of our element. Ain't nobody eating rallies and Captain D's no more, Now we're taking cars to the studio. And it just became, Prophet wanted to go solo first. And then Skinny was the easy E of it. And, so I was just watching Sucking Up Game, was like, well, there ain't enough money for none of us to get away. And then and you just watched it come unravel as time went on, as concerts and people had kids and lives, and this is a basketball player and this is You know, all of them come from pretty good mom and pop homes. You know, and then me being Eddie Kane, a little different. You know, and having more songs to write at that time in life. Uh, Being, you know, where your mother's a twisted back and your daddy's a garbage man, you see the world a little different than other folks. So that's when I realized, okay, working class could never be around these college kids. So eventually I was looking for a way out after the third album, which was the Humding, and we was did a single with Interscope, and then after that it was just shit. It was just never the publishing made sense or the touring dollars for six guys and being the only soul group from Kentucky with inexperienced managers or managers they sent already to get money and fool you guys so they could have their way. Everybody saying we was green and the first identity from Kentucky with great music. We just didn't have the Atlanta Greg Street as the homie. He respected the music and the brand, but he didn't actually know what we needed as young men to go forward as productive men. Okay, this Lionel Richie of the group. This is blah blah blah. This is, and everybody that was just to pick us like barbecue, you know.
Yeah, then you say like at one point for the second album, the Atlantic came in. You were sitting with the reps, and they took a picture of the group and they ripped it in half and said you, Skinny, and Prophet, I guess at the time was going to be the new Nappy Roots, and they were going to leave the other three out.
Yeah, and put a white girl in our group like Fergie, you know, and make us the cool black eyed peas.
Wow.
Man, look at here, man.
Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, you know, and it just was every manager that came around just wanted one more Nappy Root album. I was ready to go, and when Anthony Hamilton left, and you know, like I didn't know it was supposed to be like Jeezy was the Boys Hood. You got one verse you supposed to do it if you him, you know, and like I said, learned so much just lasting, just staying around and creating. Like I still got 11 million buyers or 11 million fans. So it's about getting them to, you know what I mean? The best way possible. And people don't just move on if you got that heat. Now, I look at it like probably like basketball. Like I go to that analysis all the time because 2 Chainz, we either play ball or rap. And we see ourselves in these cats. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, at a time when they brought out Cash Money and they was bling bling and we was po folks, and Nappy Roots to me was never marketed like the Roots or the DMS because don't nobody want to hear good news. Good Day, a big record. I mean, your grandmother, your auntie played, but you know when your nephew them fucking up in the back and got powder on that mirror, and you know, so it was, you know, they try to pin us as good fellows, you know what I mean? Instead of real cats, or at least both.
And of course,
Now,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now, when you say like you was kind of like almost like Eddie Kane of the group. So when you finally left the group, did you have the confidence in yourself that you can move forward in the music world or in the industry, or was it like a scary feeling? Because I know, I read you a little bit of your story where you say you left because of your kids and you want to spend more time with your kids and you got into coaching and stuff like that. So was it one of those things where I can easily move over here and do my own thing because I have the confidence in myself, or was it more about the kids and what you had to do over there as a family man?
I think it was both. It was frustration that I didn't have more for them. Their mama dropped them off at my mom's house and never looked back 10 years ago. And my second grader, you know, she's a daddy's girl. And she's a senior today and just signed a scholarship with Northern Kentucky. And my other son, All-American ball player. And so I went through period paper and everything with this little girl. And just the fact that I never had enough money to get with the cats and have those conversations like, man, I got these 10 singles. I just need radio. I ain't never met a Suge Knight. I've always been Dr. Dre or Cube, but I ain't never been around the right person with the right thing going on at that time in my life. So it's been 10 years of getting cats graduated and college and all by myself without my main income. And then I'm looking for my lyrics and nothing, I'm wanting to go do my deal or, talk to somebody about some publishing. And they're like, well, there's nothing in your catalog. Everything you wrote is in Nappy Roots. I said, somebody done my paperwork. So now we're going back with my paperwork and all. When they let one man sign for a group, that's when I just left and I didn't really want to do music no more. So I was at home going through all this and I'm calling Anthony and them explaining like, dude, I need a record. I need a shout out, get me in the room with somebody. And just, when you got kids and time goes on and this happens and, it's the first time I've had an empty nest. And I called him for my birthday, the verses. He's like, come out here, I'm fucking with Music Soul Child and, whatever. We did that Valentine's Day and playing records and whatever. So I got some records, and everything. And I figured out a QA code, how to scan it with your phone and sell it. And put it on gummy bears, reefer, dope, what we know how to do. And quit confusing you with streams and silly shit like that. So I learned to, do it from that part of it, but still need the help with the rest, that light. But so I went through a true Hollywood story. Pat helped me get through some of it mentally. You know what I mean? So man, like I said, we writing the book, we do podcasts from a barbershop with a real kind of hard grammar to it. So we got a bunch of shit in the works. It's just when you're in Kentucky and you using your money to eat and, the minnow could be lost.
And speaking of records, man, I really like the record that you got with Urban Mystic. Urban Mystic, my man, 50 Grand. When I lived in Fort Lauderdale, I used to be at a lot of his backstage stuff, invited to his birthday party. Like, I know Brandon personally, you know what I mean?
Right on.
And so when I listened to the record, I said, this record hot, man. This record need to be in FM radio, Clear Channel, college radio, internet radio, Sirius satellite radio. Like, the record hot, man, and it serves a purpose. It's a feel good record, you know what I mean? And so that's what we need coming from this pandemic, and we still gonna face it again come the winter time, man. So we need those feel good records. So tell us about that record right there.
Man, hooking up with that boy Herb. Pat brought me the record. Where were you when you're first and you're big and you're proud? And I was like, man, that nigga sound like Casey Haley, from Jodeci. And we was just in Uptown, making that one sound that they produced, that barbecue music. And was like, man, and Ralph was like, smile. Everybody tired of hearing you depressed. I done heard enough of you through the struggle and you weighing up or whatever you're doing. He said, man, let's take it back to a daytime party. And Herb just was like, shit, it's all on me. We just wanted, a 40-year-old love where it ain't tricking. It's just, you deserve to get them nails done and drop the kids off Friday afternoon. We ain't gonna come over until Sunday. One of them kind of afternoon. It's all on me. About a $300 weekend if you working. What I mean? Just a nice ghetto love celebration. It's all on me. Checking the room, hot tub, get the car clean. Nothing really big. Just some quality time.
Right. It's hot though. It's hot, man. So I just want to commend you on that record, and just want to tell you, man, keep pushing that record. I can hear that record on a lot of soundtracks. I can hear that record in the background documentary. I can hear that record on some real fire type movies, man. Movies that engaging in relationships and trying to get that good old thing back, man. So that's a hot record, man. So I'm gonna turn it back over to you, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you too, Big V, because I was reading like y'all lawyer at the time was saying that y'all first record deal was the worst record deal he ever seen in the history
Hell, he
of
worked with him.
music.
Hell, he
So,
worked with him.
huh?
Hell, he worked with him. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh wow. Oh
man,
wow.
the movie Life is like we done fought it for nothing. You hear me?
Yeah.
I like when we got to Atlantic, I was just so uninterested because Mike Severn represented Nappy Roots and he represented Mike Curran, who's at Atlantic as the VP. And I was like, this is a conflict of interest. And the more noise, and it seemed like we were screaming for help, people were just laughing with us. So they just took niggas sound like, if you watch Cadillac Records, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you take mud you take mud from the country and like you put us around these artists. And before we came out, these artists on Atlantic, they sound like someone else. But then as I began to do music and open up and bring in guitars and we were doing two-headed hooks, then the roster started sounding like a lot like Nappy Roots. Like you take CeeLo away from Goody Mob and you make him a bald-headed cartoon and he looks a little like this, right?
Okay.
And then you them sending you hooks, maybe country or maybe alternative, pin who's singing them, right?
Right.
And then okay, Trick Daddy is a gangster. Tony is a bottom Florida rapper, right? Bitch, you don't know now, nigga, right?
Right.
When Mike started fooling with the country boys, he took our guitars. And then, well, there's Kanye West. They won't let him rap over there, but Nappy Roots rap reality. So let's get him in sessions with them and get John Legend and Kanye West opening up for him. Then Kanye West, while he was over there writing H to the Izzo, you know, a producer writing about somebody else, then Mike Curran was like, they spit reality over here, and Twister was already over at Atlantic. So he put the Royal Flush in the Nappy Roots sound and brought all that back with other groups. So you go get T.I., which gave you an Atlanta market, and you catch him with the Neptunes. And so it wasn't hard to figure out 24s, cars it closed after you put like Jazzy made all know. I was like, we never worked with Jazzy physically. He sang on all now, you know, for that ghetto pack. You country boys is on the rise. That was us, you know. So they delegated all our sound out. And then the time we got ready to capitalize our shit, they done already duped us. Ludacris dropped his album was Chicken and Beer after Watermelon Chicken and Grits. So before we even got a chance to come back and do a solo project or release me and give me opportunity, they had already done, you know, muddy watered me.
Well, y'all told it though with the deal.
Yeah. So it was like, man. So, and then every time it was like, I never got that Method Man shot. And everybody that managing or better, anybody that was writing a check, it was about Nappy Roots and not branding. And okay, they do this kind of music. This is my sound. You know, what's their sound? And why I ain't got the production for this? And, you know, so it always came without that quoting with it. Hell, I became Eddie Kane, you know, putting the powder on the mirror or the molly in the back, you know, keep me wired up while you talk to business like Ray Charles. Like that.
Right. Okay. I can dig it.
You don't pay attention.
So then you ain't got enough money to leave and really put that $250,000 behind you that you need as a single. And then if they ain't running with you, they gonna blackball you. And so that's what happened with Nappy Roots. It was like you fed one of us and then you fed the wrong one. He ain't the one that do that. And then once we caught on, we just all kind of started doing our own thing.
Well, speaking of Nappy Roots, this one I can say, Big V and P, man, I can say that when I listen to Nappy Roots, man, and so I'm a country boy. I'm from the backwoods of South Carolina.
Right.
So when I was listening to Nappy Roots, we was on the grills drinking bootleg and listen for the percussions, the guitar strings, the drums and that key that make the beat, but you can tell it's a piano sounds like I think a lot of artists have got away from the soulfulness in working with real musicians. And so just because you're not a singer don't mean that you can't have soul on a record. And so Nappy Roots gave me that soulful feel.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
know what I mean?
And they get on Sway and they want to go against it. And then Sway asks, what happened with Nappy Roots? V was the tree trunk. I just think we need to switch the numbers. Well, if he wasn't going to happen, you going to play him, he wasn't going to be that long once he figured it out. And just the best thing happened to me was to come here and get a hold of my kids. A man with no future going to die silent. And
say that again.
You know what I mean? A man with no future going to die silent. So then working with them, we, started working with Lighter Chance nonprofit organizations of like programs like Finding Your You. Like I got to this point, but I think I would have done a lot of things if I'd have just had identity and not education so much. Like if you ain't no blood, you ain't gonna act like no, you're a gospel man, you ain't gonna act like no heathen and vice, and all that there. So I think Nappy Roots got there quicker than we were ready for.
Right. And so Big V, with me doing my research on you, man, and actually going through your page and reading up on you, man, finding your youth. So with that program, man, tell us about, because me and Ikon are very big advocates of youth. We run a sports show on Sunday called 910 Sports, and it started off for us interviewing, high school and collegiate athletes so they can have a voice because they don't give them a chance on ESPN. And so we really big on the youth, man. And so with me researching you and seeing how you was working with the youth, man, how did that come about and how was that experience for you?
I was having problems at home that we were solving at home with my kids. And then I would just notice their friends would hang around. If you that parent with the ball gold and the food and your teenagers could smoke reefer in the back, you can get a chance to talk to a lot of youth and deal with some of the problems they're going through hiding from their folks. And I was like, well, damn, we need a stable for these kids. I didn't know there was that many grandmother kids or kids that don't know how to think about anything besides playing for that high school team or, thinking he's going to be the next Titty 2 Chainz or don't know how to movie Boys in the Hood ends in every neighborhood, and I'd be like, what, how you going to, do you know barbers make pretty good money? They get a lot of monkey you want, cut a lot of hair, sell grass out the back, and an electrician, $100 to pull up, and just teaching them there's more than one way to Charleston, Carolina, whether you go airplane, boat, or open road. It's about the quality of life is what I was teaching them, and for dudes to, in our programs, you got to like what you got because she going to want what she had. And the same thing for a woman. We let ourselves go when we get in relationships and things like it. You know what I mean?
Right. So,
I'll give you a chance to talk.
Right. So Ikon, I want you to tap in on, working with the kids, and when you was working with the kids, did they open up to you about having anxiety and emotional depression, mental depression, or even from that standpoint, a lot of kids don't understand, the spiritual growth that they may have. They might come from a background where where they don't have that country boy background where your grandmama taught you about God and whatever. So how did that intertwine in your teachings when you was working with the youth?
Well, it just depended on the child. Most of these childs come from a broken situation, so most of the children were trying to figure themselves out. So they really didn't know what their negative emotions or whatever you want to call it was coming from. So as Patrick can probably attest, you had to help them tap into that. You know what I mean? And then a lot of times you're dealing with the parent, and the parent is very broken themselves. They're confused. They
Yeah.
don't have understanding of themselves. So if they don't have understanding, the child they dang sure the child ain't gonna have understanding. So you really gotta have a breakthrough with the mother, because usually I was going into single homes. I very seldom went in a home where it was a mother and a father, especially because I was dealing with the foster side, and then I was dealing with the main family side. But you know what I'm saying. So basically, I'm having to go between the two, depending on the situation. So I may want to have had one household where it was they was with the primary or the biological mother, and then you might have another situation where I'm going in when I'm kind of working with the kid with the foster parent. And you know what I mean? And then the kid was very confused because they're going back and forth every other weekend, or once a week, once every couple of weeks. And then, so it's a lot going on. So when you start talking about a spiritual side of things, you know, it's kind of like one of those things, especially when you're doing that kind you gotta be very careful with that, because you don't know spiritually what they're dealing with, or what kind of religion it is. So it's kind of, you gotta get you definitely gonna say, trust God, do things like that, but you gotta be careful how you put it, because you can get yourself in trouble when you get back to the office. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
You
I
know.
can dig it.
And
So
Pat,
Patrick, for you, man, um, how does that work for you with working with these kids from the mental depression, the anxiety, the emotional depression, and not knowing who they are spiritually as well?
Well, one of the things I do, man, the good thing about kind of being working for yourself, you don't have to worry about the office as much. I tell my clients from the start, I tell their parents, I said, look, if you're looking for the therapist, it's going to be like, now, Junior, why did you do that? I said, I can point you to somebody. I'm liable to look at your teenage son and go, man, what the hell are you thinking? You know how this ends. I talk to him very real, and talk to him very real about the solutions, because, like, I can't get you to the spiritual point if you're facing 5 years in juvenile detention because you done messed up over here. I got to address this first and get you to thinking and getting them to change the way they think. I think my blessing, what some people might would consider a curse, but my blessing was I'm an adopted child. Like, if you ever heard the story of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, that ain't mine. I was adopted into a single parent home in the projects,
mm,
but I was loved. And like I
mm,
tell like a lot of my clients, I said, man, sometimes the best lessons you can learn from your parents if they're absent or whatever, because there's a lot of that, and it ain't just black kids either, boy. The tide has turned. A lot of white kids growing up with great grandmama and stuff. Ain't no dad or mama in the picture because of meth and stuff that came through. And
Mm,
I said, man,
mm,
sometimes the best lesson you can learn is what not to do.
mm,
I said, I never missed any of my kids' games because there was nobody there for me with mine. I said, you
mm,
can't undo what somebody else done to you, but you can start directing your own path. You don't have to be the statistic that everybody tell you you're gonna be. If it's a young lady, learn how to keep your legs closed. He gonna tell you
mm,
everything you want to hear to get those panties. Hell, because I was a kid and I would have told you the same thing. But you
mm,
gotta understand when shit the fan, you the one going home with the baby, or you going to the abortion clinic and have to deal with the trauma of that, because that's traumatic too. And a lot of people don't want to talk about that. But I work with a lady who heard her aborted baby cry.
mm,
It's
mm.
devastating sometimes. You know
mm,
what I mean? It ain't
Wow.
I went and got it pulled out and going about your business. No, action has consequences, and sometimes those consequences harm us long after the action is over with, and nobody talks about those things to them. So I try to be very real with kids, but I also will tell them that, look, I know a platinum selling rapper. For my, yeah,
Some things you going through.
I'm from a little town called Hopkinsville, Kentucky. 43,000 people. We like 12 miles from Fort Campbell, hour from Nashville. That's the best way for most people to reference it. From my little town, I know two NBA players, three NFL players, three NBA players actually. From a town of 43,000, ain't supposed to happen, but it does. But you have to be dedicated to what you do. But you ain't got to be an NFL player. You ain't got to be an NBA player if that's what you want to do. You can go out here, like you said, you can be that plumber who's you got the biggest houses and commercial jobs there is, so you still living nice. My biological aunt, when I met my biological family, my uncle Willie, He did lots. He cleaned lots and did landscaping and stuff. And she had him a millionaire before they passed.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get success by doing whatever it is you do. Like you said, finding your you. If it's hey, everybody needs a tow truck. I don't care who you are. Eventually, sometime or another, you're gonna break down. Those are needed things. It ain't just about always the high profile in the music business. There's ghost writers. There's the managers. There's the A&R. There's all these other jobs that's there, other than being the person on stage. Because as he's gonna tell, sometimes the person on stage is the least paid.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But
So
a lot of these kids with depression and stuff like that, it's just helping them think about it in a different, cognitive behavioral therapy, reframing their thoughts. Instead of looking at the negative of all this situation, okay, where can we find the positive? What can you do different? What did you learn, again, not to do? Like I learned early as a kid, I didn't like whippings, but I didn't like restriction even more. I watched my big brother go to jail so much, I'm like, I don't want to go to jail because you can't leave when you want to. What can you learn from some people consider a negative situation?
that's right. And I just want to give a major shout out to my man DJ Ghost, my man Twan for definitely plugging us, man. I definitely want to salute him. And I also want to go back to you, Big V, man. I just want to rewind this podcast back a little bit. I don't really think people heard the synopsis of what you said, bro. You said that your kids was dropped off at your grandmama's house, and their mama kept on booking, never looked back.
Yeah, we never.
And so for you to be a professional artist, because when you get signed to a professional label, you become a professional artist.
Yes, sir.
And so when you get signed to a $1 billion label like Atlanta, you are definitely a professional artist. Yes. And so with that being said, from having to come off the road to, being in front of hundreds of thousands of people, from stage to stage, city to city, and for you having to come to be a full-time single father, man, let us know how the transition was for. And so I'm going to say salute to you, because we always talk about the single mothers, but let's talk about the single fathers and what they have to go to and how they have to prepare themselves mentally, emotional, physically, and spiritually. Like that's a lot to prepare yourself for when you've never been a single father full time, and you have to buckle down and you have to tell yourself mentally, man, I got this. And then with you having to raise a daughter, there's a whole lot of other things that you have to understand as a father too.
Wait. Turn you to a praying man. I tell you what, man, being a child that survived molestation, I just know that if I had an opportunity to be a parent, I would make better decisions, try not to drop my kids off to anybody, like you stay with your mom. I don't want your mom to work. Why? Because I need eyes on you, a man of all time. And, I was really worried about things as a parent that you don't even know your kids go through. And being on the road, you realize there's so much of their lives you miss. And then you come back home, if you're not an everyday parent, the person that deals with them, maybe they're going to have the upper edge. I don't care who's paying the bills or who's running the show in the lap of luxury. They know who deals with them every day. So before this now, before she dropped them off, they had a living, she would con. I had a few teenagers, they let them out party and do whatever. Con them to turn on me. They have to come home. I didn't get along. I went home to surprise them a few days before the tour was over. We was coming through on the leg of the tour. They had another man living in my joint.
Oh, back up, man. Stop the press. A big technical file on the play. Hold on. You said when you come home.
Shit. Did I do?
Man, you said when you come home.
Yeah.
You surprise them a couple of days early.
Yeah.
It's another dude living in your joint.
Oh, for sure.
Oh my God. Oh my.
I've been through Hollywood stubborn. I was like, wow. That was a hard bitter pill to swallow. And then At this time, I'm reaching for everything that I've hid money in my company, and as money I ain't reached for skinny, I got to start all over. I got to move to Florida. I need me a little space. Well, this son of a bitch didn't have my money, so it really hit the fan. That's when it really was. It was a dark time for me, and help of the Lord, Pat, big family. I buried my father on last Nappy Roots Day. Just buried my stepfather of 40 years. Been through some trauma, man, the last dime, man. Everybody graduated. Everybody's baptized. I went through a lot of mental things, trusting your kids again. I don't give a fuck who you are. At some point, you're human.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, you let somebody do that to me? I don't give a fuck really if you eat right now. I had to grow up and just be like, what would you do if when most cats is raised by a woman, they oh man, I wouldn't be here for my mom. You don't know shit what up with you and your dad. You might want to ease that conversation,
Mhm.
So I just was like, I try to put myself in a kid's place mentally, not to be prejudiced and coming back and raising these people after she fucked me over and left them at my mama's. And these are people that didn't tell me shit now. Want me to come, you know what I mean? So man, like I said, if I could record this shit, you would be amazed.
Man, but Big V, we gonna keep it real, and I'm gonna go back to some of the stuff that I heard some of the old men in the neighborhood. I'm talking about OGs, 70, 80 years old. That was like, man, no matter what, no woman tell you, no matter what society tell you, a child come from the testicles of a man. The bloodline start with the man.
Yes, sir.
And so, and once people get through their head where the bloodline start from, they'll kind of understand how to understand a male. See, the thing about females, a lot of them don't take time to understand the male.
No.
If you really sit down and have a conversation, you got to understand his mental health, his emotional health, his physical health, and his spiritual health. And then you understand him. And as well, he has to do the same. So impactful, compromisable conversation can kill a lot of shit that don't need to be said.
What you said. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
I know if Ikon probably like me, man, when you run into our male counterparts, a lot of the problem we experience, like you was talking about depression and stuff earlier, we're only allowed to have two emotions. We can be happy, we can be mad. We don't know melancholy. We don't know sort of. So even the women around us, you can express mad, but if you're like, man, I don't feel good, I'm down. Oh, you being emotional.
Yeah.
So like when you said not understanding, we don't like I said, we don't understand our feelings because anything that ain't happy makes us mad because we know we can get away with mad. Football field, you get hurt, suck it up. Go out there, you won't get even. Go out there and hit him harder.
Motherfucker know how to lose.
Yeah,
he don't really know how to win.
Yeah,
he shake your hand, good game. He walk away grinning. He said shit. Motherfucker lose, he can tear the damn water cooler up, whoop 3 bitches, slam a phone. Am I lying? You know how to lose.
Hey, but you know something though, Big V. You said something. You said something that is very frustrating. For now, me and Jacob talk about this all the time, and I said the thing about with men that we don't never get credit for being good fathers, but we always get the blame for the ones that we like the police officers, the bad police officers. So the good fathers get lumped in with the bad fathers, and it's always, oh, that's what you're supposed to do. But like I tell people, I tell women sometimes, I say, you know something about with men. Sometimes we want that little pat on the back. Sometimes we want to get our flowers. We ain't gonna say it, but we want it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's the little things you do for us. Like we walk in the house and we might not be a bubble bath type dude, but if you made us a bubble bath, we'll do it because you made it for us, and we'll feel appreciated. You know what I mean? It's the little things that you do for us make us feel like what we do every day to go out there and try to make this money is worth it, and we want to come home or whatever because we feel appreciated. You know what I'm saying? That's all we ask on Father's Day. Don't just give me no damn towel all the time. You know what I mean? Whenever you know what I mean? Like treat me the same way. And the thing about it is, like we understand the mother's importance and the woman's importance in the child's life. And like you were saying, brother, like the children just automatically just get the mother all the love, and the fathers just get the scraps. And it's just like, dang, you know what I'm saying? We out here busting our ass just like like the mother is. Can we get a little something? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they don't see it that way. Oh, he tough. He's for tough. He good. he take care. But man, like I say, man, I had to grow and really get to that. But when I was going to leave Nappy Roots, and now even then, I always knew I could really hold it down and really do my own thing. I wrote out now, I wrote Poor Folk, and then I probably dominate the stage performer. So that was never a weakness of mine. I would always try to get out of the way, because everybody like to see Nappy Roots together a lot. And when you're from the country, it didn't take a lot of money. It just take the right of money with the right amount of game. And I was like, hold up now, I don't own a detail shop, a lawnmower, nothing. Hold on, there's some bullshit here. I always wanted to be least boss hog on the Bulls net in a small town, 2 liquor store, fish joint, frying potatoes and onions and shit out of my, nice little hustle. And I was like, this ain't making sense. And they
barbecue pit in the ground out back. Yeah,
Yeah, they wanted to move to Atlanta and become something I didn't know nothing about. And I'm small town and just wanted to do small town rap tunes like a Tech Nine and know the people I know on air, but really self-contained in a small town. And where we do everything out of our warehouse and we know these many million people and we service them. And that was my dream about making it. And I was telling Pat some things I wanted to do. So now we building our shit with bricks and the foundation. So now all the lyrics and now I'm doing all the production and being back on terms with cats like Greg Street, who kind of really was in business deals with Nappy Roots and we both got shafted and he didn't know who the fuck was who. So now seeing you and he and guys that's been through in the old school, realizing, brother, I need your help again. And me and you know what it takes to work those radio things. And we got great product, still the great music, learn how to make hits at Atlantic and at Universal as well as Interscope. But the money never made sense, man. They would seem like when you're a Bama, just it's either you with a thief or a dummy. You know what I mean? It just never really made sense for me. So I was just like, I'm gonna set it out until I know. And so they in Atlanta. Turned on the news to some silly shit last week. Hope Scales is recovering about his abduction, his kidnapping. That was really real. Dude jumped out of moving cars and got away from that when they shot him at his neighbors last week. So shout out to his speedy recovery. We hadn't talked in 10 years. When somebody owes you something, they don't mind the conversation going on and on. So that's where that's at. It ain't non-repairable, but you need to holler at dog.
Nothing wrong with that, yeah, man. But anything can be repaired, but people gotta lose that what we call ego and that pride, man, and just keep it real with themselves so they can keep it real with you. And that's all it is.
That's it. Just clean up what you messed up. Turn the page and begin again. That's where I'm at, man. I'm a Christian. I don't carry burdens around. God will let you see what he done. It's real. You reap what you sow. You put some good shit out there, it's gonna come back. So I'm placing with that.
Word. So Big V, man, I know you got a lot going on, man. So for the cats that want to get up with you, want to do a feature with you, maybe just want to vibe with you, want to see where you at and come to the city where you at and vibe with you, man, and like I just want to interact with you. But before you give out that information, I'm gonna say this to you: that voice needs to be on TV, bro. And I ain't talking about you rapping. I'm talking about narration, documentary, acting. Yeah, bro. That voice needs to be on TV.
Need your help? I know they're getting busy in your city. I shot a movie in Carolina last year.
Okay.
Black and Blue Tears.
Black and Blue Tears with Felicia Rivers. And
I definitely know who Get You One is, for sure.
Feed Good People. Still working with Jamie McCoy
45 seconds.
with 45 seconds. I shot 4 films last year. We, like I said, we got a bunch of producers.
Business Christmas 2.
Business and Christmas 2. Got music. Love to work with everybody that want to get down. I want to show them how to do a single and realize who we demographically, who we shooting this to, what we doing it for. So definitely would love to work with cats. You know, I'm at Twitter. I'm on Facebook. All of those shit. You know, I'm old. Big V of Nappy Roots. You have to call me. I don't like texting. I want to know what you mean.
Word. You know what? I know how to get up with you. I got P number, so I definitely be linking in with him, and I also be linking Ikon in with you too, man, because he back in the ATL now, so he gonna have a lot of things going on, man, and so yeah, we definitely gonna link. We definitely gonna link, man. So, but I just want to, man, say to my kings, to my brothers, man, I'm glad all of you tapped in with me. You Big V, UP, and you Ikon, man. It's been a great dialogue tonight.
Hey, man, can I add one more thing though?
Go ahead, man.
As far as this man as a father, what he didn't comment on is that he has one son that's already graduated college and is actually coaching high school ball. Another son is starting his own business and likes to rap. His daughter is one of the top players in the state right now here in Kentucky. And his youngest son is injured right now, but he plays for the University of Kentucky starting at corner. So he put that work in and got a lot.
So he LeVar Ball. He the country LeVar Ball.
Yes, okay. There we go.
Okay, so P, check this out, P. Like I mentioned earlier, me and Ikon, you know, and a few other our partners, we have the 910 Sports Podcast every Sunday morning, 8:15 Eastern Standard.
Right.
So, with you saying that, P, I'll be in contact with you, man, so we can set all of their interviews up, and let's get it, man, because you know, reach one, teach one. That's it.
Yes, sir. I'm a tailgater too. BB, you know, Kentucky, we're gonna drink beer till we can't pack it. You know.
Okay. Yes, sir, man. So you know, I can dig it, man. So I definitely appreciate y'all coming on, man. And P, I'll definitely be in touch after the holidays, man. So peace and blessings, man. And we're gonna be out of here.
Every king on here, thank you. Ikon.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jay.
All right. No doubt.
Right on.
I don't.